Absolutely. Drew Titan, Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. This is Painful Excellence Podcast. And interesting. I saw something and I want to discuss it. Um, we're in a time where notice there's a lot of terms and words being used to define men and the perceived situation of men. Men are being made out to be villains, animals. We are heartless. We're over emotional, which makes us dangerous. But we're not emotional to care for a female's feelings. So therefore, we're useless. You know, women don't need us. I showed y'all that in the last, what the View was talking about in the last pep talk. And that kind of conversation in a round table is actually very dangerous. And I can't believe that there wasn't no uproar, there was no outrage. And I'm gonna tell you something. Men, we just don't, we'll point out something like that, we'll speak on it, but we don't do things like with women. We don't do things like protest and make phone calls and cancel people. That's just not what we do. We look at it and we say, hey man, this is typical, but we know how to deal with it. We just keep on being what we are, and men. That's what we do. But that was very it was enraging. So I saw this group of words that they put together, something that they kept referring to men. Of course, it's on Instagram, and there's a lot of lab rats on there. If you don't know what I mean by lab rats, I mean sometimes I'll make a comment on a thread, and then here come the women. Oh, well, why you say this and why you say that? And it's like, well, this is why I say it. Well, man, this is why I say it. And usually the women that are talking, if their account is not private, you go into their account and it's 30 pictures with their butt out. And it's like, okay, whatever, man, whatever. It's weird. So I wanted to know, what is lonely, broken, dangerous? What is that? But what's interesting is, well, what they call men, like in this phrase, lonely, broken, dangerous. To me, these women are describing themselves. A majority of them are single. A majority of them are broke. They're not bosses. They're broke. That's what they do for a living. It's never a job. They're all entrepreneurs, and they do hair, and they're broke. Some of them got a crap load of college debt. They broke. And they're dangerous. You know why? They're dangerous to men with the good credit and trying to focus to become the best version of themselves. And he's supposed to stop what he's doing to entertain her crap. That's dangerous. So let's do this roll call and read from this article. Beautiful love is a word. Tay Tay, Shaquilla, 3 sisters back to back in my chat. I am so honored. Thank you. The Queens really F's with your boy, man. I appreciate you, ladies. My brother, Black Martial Arts Society, what's good? My brother, Clarence McLean, Bronx on deck in the building. Jared, what's going on? 704 Joe, Rod, Neil, Nicholas Levy, Jay Main, Mind of Monsa, Musa, what's good, man? Night Train. Let's get it popping, y'all. What is this lonely, broken, dangerous? Let's see. Pulled up this article. Growing number of uneducated, lone, broke men deemed threat to society. A lack of male college enrollment is breeding a growing population of lonely men who may prove dangerous, according to an NYU professor. Did y'all hear that? Mr. Shelton, salute. Did y'all hear that? Ain't this something? This is crazy, right? Who wrote this article? By Kayla Kibbe, Kibbe. Kayla Kibbe. Sounds like a woman, right? Well, let's read what has to be said, okay? Okay. It says, beware the lone broke man. Fine. One might assume that the most dangerous person in the world right now is someone with a lot of money and power. The foreign dictator Jeff Bezos, perhaps. So let me get this straight. A man can't be wealthy because he's dangerous. But in this article, they're going to tell us that when you're broke and you're a male, you're also just as dangerous. But according to NYU professor Scott Galloway, okay, this is a man writing this, the most dangerous person in the world is a broke and lone male. And bad news, we're producing too many of them. Wait a minute. Who's we? Who's producing these lonely, broke males? Who's doing this? Marriage in this country's down, right? Divorce is up. Who calls for divorce? What's the number? Is it not like 70% of women file for divorce? And when you ask them, what are they filing for divorce for? What do they say? Irreconcilable differences, which means they just got bored. So who's this we? We're producing more. Who's we? What's the percentage of black men that are childless and their pay scale is above average? Black men I'm talking about. So a majority of them are not even married and they're childless. So who's producing these lonely, broke men? Who's doing this? Who's doing this, Scott? College professor? Who's we? I didn't do this. When men are, testing the waters, do you know I've seen shows where a man is telling a room full of women about himself? I've seen shows where he says, well, I'm 30-something years old. Young Hollywood, salute. I'm 30-something years old and, I live here and I do this for a living. Everything sounds fine. And how many kids do you have? Oh, I don't have any kids. Red flag. There's broads talking about red flag. Auntie Jenny in the building, salute. Yeah. No, Auntie, here's the funny part. I am talking about the men. But I'm going to read this again. I am talking about the men, but a college professor named Scott Galloway says the most dangerous person in the world is a broke and lone male. And bad news, we are producing too many of them. And my question was, who's we? Hold on. Who's we? In America, I don't know about the UK and the islands. I don't know about that. In America, women are calling for divorce left and right. Jeff Spark in the building, salute. Women are calling for divorce. 70% of women are calling for divorce left and right. Black men, highly educated, 53% of them are above average as far as pay is concerned. And they're childless. So when Mr. Galloway, the college professor, says we are producing broken lonely men, and I'm saying, wait, hold on, who's we? Who's breaking up the American household? It ain't the men. Now, of course, women can add to the narrative and say, oh, well, he's probably, don't tell me what he's probably doing. What are you going to say, infidelity? The amount of women and men that cheat in their marriage is neck and neck. Try again. Try again. What's the leading cause of divorce? It's majority of it is over money. The man's busting his ass and he's not making enough for her. So instead of her ass going out and getting a job, she's blaming him. So we could either make up scenarios as to why women are breaking up their household. We can make it up, or we could just deal with it. Let's just deal with the facts. Let's deal with the numbers. These women are walking away from their marriages, and they walk away, and in a divorce, who gets the kids? It's not the man who can afford the kids. If he's making $90,000 a year, guess what? If she's not working, she's going to get alimony, child support, and she's going to get the house. His salary becomes her salary. His retirement becomes her retirement. I know, Auntie, and that's what we're talking about. That's exactly what we're talking about. Marriage has become a bad deal. So much to the point where men don't want to do it anymore. And this era of men, surprisingly, have been very responsible with their penis. So much to the point where when a man in his 30s or 40s says, I don't have no children, women say that's a red flag. There must be something wrong with you. Why? Because he's been responsible with his penis? Why do you have kids and you've never been married? Y'all don't see anything wrong with that? Okay. Okay. But this is the era that we live in. And what do I always say? This era is in error. So now, right into this thing, we are producing more kids. Well, if the woman who's getting alimony and child support, now she gets the kids, and some of these chicks play games with these men. And I've seen these court cases on YouTube where it's not always some thugged out dude having a problem with baby mama. These be well-to-do dudes, other lawyers, other doctors. And it's like, I make X amount of dollars a year, and she got the kids, she got the house, she got one of the cars, and all I want is a weekend, and I can't get that. I've seen this stuff. Young Abel, salute. I've seen this stuff. I've seen it. I've seen it. Not only black people either. A lot of white people. And then when those kids turn 18, then what? After X amount of years of poisoning, daddy don't love you, daddy left us, daddy. Kids, they either play into it or they figure it out. Yeah, all right, well, he's never been late with child support. He took us to Martha's Vineyard every summer or whatever. We're all 18 now and we're in college. Main Biker, salute. We're in college now and you're still beefing and he's moved on. We're starting to see things, Mom. Or if mama's boys, or if she poisons that little boy enough, that becomes the broken, lonely man and he becomes dangerous. You know why? He grows up hating men. He grows up hating his father. But he becomes an incel because she can't raise him to be a man. She's trying to mold this kid to be the man that she wanted her ex-husband or baby daddy to be. You can't do that. The only way a man could be a man is you have to have him around other men. Bring him to the church. Get in men's group. If you can't do it, if the father's not around for whatever reason, immerse him into men's stuff. Because there's certain things you can't do. So I'm looking at this article, I'm like, oh, wow. Now, I'm reading this for the first time. I hope, yeah, exactly, Main Biker, 50 Cent's son. That kid is fruity, and he's blaming his father for everything. You wasn't broke. He supported you. And all he said is grow up and get your own, man. I'm not entitled to give you anything. What are you crying for? Stop it. What is your mother telling you? I'm sorry, it don't matter. You were a mistake, but I took care of you financially. All this other stuff you beefing about, that's ridiculous. Hit me up when you want to know how to start your own business from the ground up. But he was crying on social media, oh, daddy, me. We only got $5,000 a month. Do you know $5,000 a month is less than what a lot of civil servants in my city make a month? And this kid was getting it all his life. Your mother saw you as a meal ticket, and look at her now. So is he broken, lonely, and dangerous? And whose fault is that? It ain't 50s. Dial it back. I wasn't married to her. I didn't want her. I didn't want this kid. You know why she kept the baby. So we went to court. The judge said this amount. I was never late with it. Now what? But you got to be in his life. Okay, dealing with her was dealing with the kid was a nightmare because I had to deal with her. And women don't even want to talk about that. You trying to go get the kid for your days, she ain't home. I know brothers that went through that. It's my day today, right? Yeah. Well, I went there, hung around the crib for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. She ain't show up. Calling the phone, no one's answering inside. Never late with the payment, though. Don't act like that don't happen. So these lonely, broke, dangerous men, and he's talking about we're producing them? Who's we? Who's we? When women are leading the charge in divorce. Women are more broken and lonely. And like Auntie Jenny said, they just hide it better. This sounds like projection. Because besides, when men get custody of the kids, don't they say the kids grow up better? Hello, look it up. When the men get custody of the kids turn out better. They turn out just as good as a two-parent household. Look it up. So this article sounds like it's about to be a bunch of projection. Shout out to Young Abel in that super chat. He says, more men are responding with their money and social habits, but modern American women believe it's a bad thing. It's not an accident. They go overseas. It's not. It's not. It's not. So I'm really thinking that this article is going to be a bunch of fluff. It's going to be a lot of projection. We're going to read it. I pulled it up. I'm reading it for the first time. So they're saying we are producing too many of them. Who's we? All right, now let's see what Scott Galloway, right? Because he's an NYU, New York University professor. My cousin went to New York. He went to NYU, graduated. Galloway rang the alarm during a CNN appearance over the weekend, claiming lowering rates of college enrollment amongst men is creating a growing population of uneducated, unattached men, a dangerous cohort that poses an existential, I can't read, y'all, threat to society. So these men are threats to society. According to him, these men are threats to society. This language is so crazy right now. Many of the most unstable, violent societies in the world all share one thing: young, depressed men who aren't attached to work, aren't attaching to school, and aren't attaching to relationships. Pause, pause, pause. I want to know, is he going to discuss the households that these men are coming from? Because he's pointing out a problem here. He's pointing out a problem. Kane says, existential. I appreciate that. Thank you. Growth, my brother Kofa in the building, salute. So, is he going to discuss where these kids come from? A two-parent household, a one-parent household? Where they come from? Yeah, man, biker, that's another thing. Go to school, get indoctrinated. They teach us how to be great employees. They don't teach us how to live the real American dream. You know, America is supposed to thrive on free enterprise. We're really supposed to be all business owners. But it's easier working, Stormy, salute. It's easier working for someone with a business that has a business. It's easier to do that because you know where your money's coming from. And you make your boss rich. But if you could work 20 successful years, you get your watch and your pension. At least that's how it used to be, right? And this is how they do us. So now these men are dangerous to society because they're not going to school enough. And what else did they say? This is some really great language in there. As essential threat to society. Many of the most unstable, violent societies in the world all share one thing. Young, depressed men, y'all, men who aren't attaching to work, aren't attaching to school, and aren't attaching to relationships. I just got a question. Who's raising these men? Unstable, violent societies in the world. Young, depressed men. Okay, are we going to talk about diet? In America, look, and Auntie Jenny can attest to this. There's certain cereal. Me and Stormy was talking about cereals, morning cereals on a Saturday morning. I used to eat Kellogg's Frosted Flakes with whole milk, watching Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends in the 80s. Do you know there's certain things on our shelves in America that they don't sell in the UK? Because it's literally poison. Too much of this right here, 10 years of this, you can get cancer. 20 years of this, you could die. You already know it. Like, America's like the fattest country in the world. That's the truth. Do you know if you take McDonald's and stick it in the corner of your house, it won't decay? People are eating that by the tons. Really think about what I'm saying. Exactly, main biker. They're not attached to fathers. I want to see if he reviews, because I'm reading this for the first time. I do this on purpose. I want to see if he talks about the upbringing in the household and how the laws enable women. It's like they reward women by getting divorced. They reward the women for getting divorced by giving her money and the kids, the house, the cars. It's a reward. Which is why a lot of men ain't getting married now. They're like, why am I doing this? Look what Auntie Jenny says. Our food in Europe is safer. I was speaking to a friend about it today. We have special aisles and shops for American foods. Exactly. That's the kill aisle. That's what that's the kill zone. Burgers with extra grease, Takis stuffed inside of Twinkies, and she probably don't even know what a Taki is. Y'all know what a Taki is. And cheese doodles with chocolate milk. Dog fart flavored Lay's. And somebody will buy it. That's the American aisle. It's called the kill zone, Auntie Jenny. Just call it the kill zone. That's in the kill zone. Yeah, Jay, man, divorce parties. Have you ever seen such a thing? Kane said, I have no idea what to talk to you. Oh, bro, these kids, first of all, the bag is heavy. And I said, what is this? And I smelt it. I'm like, man, it's like a whole bag of Doritos crunched up and refined, curled up into one big, look like a spring roll. And it's heavy and it's tangy. I bit one, I spit it out. I said, I can't eat. This is crazy. Pop-Tarts and cool. You ever read listen. 1,500 calories in a pack of Pop-Tarts. Do you know that's 500 calories less than what you're supposed to take in daily? You ever read the back of a pack of ramen noodles? In that pack, like 2,000 milligrams of sodium. That's supposed to be your intake for the day. Not me. I have hypertension. I can't touch that stuff. Look up how many milligrams of sodium is in a hot dog. Look at it. And wonder why you be at the cookout after eating 2 hot dogs. You're like, oh God, why my head hurt? You about to have a stroke, buddy. My boy Donovan grew up in Jamaica. He told me he never got sick in his life until he came to America when he was about 25 years old. He came up here in the wintertime, caught the flu. He thought he was going to die. They were in the hospital, said, yo, you just got the flu. You'll be all right in about 3 days. He thought he was going to die. But when you growing up in an island, I said, yo, what do y'all do? What do y'all eat down there? He says, man, we never starved. We were poor. We never starved. My neighbor had a goat. I said, goat? What the fuck? I was scared to ask. They had a goat. they had pineapples and mangoes and bananas in the tree, and he said we didn't want for nothing. If you want a little extra something, you went into town, you bought some stuff, you chopped up some meat or whatever. He said, nah, he said, I come here 25 years old. He said he never even had a cold. You come up here when you're 25 years old, get the flu, of course you're going to think you're going to die. I said, man, I know people that catch the flu every damn year, and they be at work. I got the flu. You're used to it. Crazy stuff. Yeah, auntie. That's those aisles in your stores for American food, it's called the kill zone. It's called the kill zone. And this is why we hate Tyson Fury, because he lied. He lied and said he ate boar's meat. Idiot. That animal is not native to the UK. What is he talking about? And that's why we was dragging him. He's like, you think we stupid? You got meat from an animal on your land that don't exist. It's not there. Would you had to import it? What? Stop, man. Boxing, please. But whatever. Yeah, auntie. You can listen. There's vital nutrients that you can, if you intake, certain ailments that you do have will just go away. And you won't even know why. It's diet, man. Y'all ever ate real lettuce? Not the lettuce you have in the store. And I'm going to do a show on this. I have something called a tower garden. I'll show it to y'all. I have to replant some stuff. I had real lettuce for the first time about 5 years ago. I grew it right in my kitchen from my tower garden. There's nothing like it. It's a little spicy. And I felt better eating it. Man, listen. But we're going to talk about that some other time. We're going to talk about what America eats and what they eat in Jamaica, what they eat in the UK, what they eat in China, and why we're the fattest country and why we're killing over and dying all over the place. And that's another thing. The food that we eat is made specifically why it's addictive. It's addictive. You be sitting in your house like, I got a taste for some Pop-Tarts. Why? Because you ate one the other day, and now it's the closest you can imagine being to a drug addict, like ever in your life. That's why detoxing and cleansing and going on like fasting, you're getting that stuff out your system, man. Man, y'all gonna learn. Jeff Sparks, salute. But back to this article, seems that men are getting blamed, right? Okay, we're all right. So women aren't the problem, y'all. That according to what Scott Galloway says. Okay, depressed men. We're talking about depressed men who aren't attaching to work, to school, and they're not attaching to relationships. Magically, that's their fault. Let's see what the Wall Street Journal has to say. The Wall Street Journal reported on the dearth of men in college earlier this month, noticing that women now make up a significant majority of college students in the U.S. Women represented an all-time high, 59.5% of college students at the end of the 2020-2021 school year, while men lagged behind at just 40.5%. The language is important. We lag behind. These numbers represent a near reversal of enrollment stats from 1970, notice the year, when men made up nearly 59% of those enrolled in college, compared to 41% of women. According to the journal, the educational gap is predicted to only intensify in the coming years, with experts expecting to see 2 women earning college degrees for every man awarded within a few years. Let me ask y'all a question. With that being said, because there's truth in the numbers, right? Y'all high-fiving, oh yeah, girl powers. Sisters are doing it for themselves. Remember I read the lyrics to that? Let me ask y'all a question. Why is the pay gap as such between men and women?
Whoa! What?
All that education and there's still a pay gap. Please explain. All that education and there's still a pay gap. Do you know why? What does your degree matter? And I'm not saying all of those degrees. If women goes to school and they become doctors, we need doctors. I get it. They get lawyers. We need lawyers. I get it. But what makes this world go round? Blue collar or white collar? We know the answer. What's the point of you having those degrees when these roads need paving? These buildings need to be built. You need maintenance men to come do the floors and all this stuff. These women ain't taking those jobs. And you know what men are figuring out? Getting this degree? Or should I get this trade so I could be the electrician? I could be the plumber, and I can still make a strong 6 figures. Don't make me less of a man. I'm getting this trade, and I don't have $100,000 in student loan debt. Sounds to me that men are working smarter, not harder. That's what it sounds like. Men are figuring things out. Just like the stats are showing, men are like, yo, marriage is a bad deal. Look what's being done. Men are getting it out the mud, making millions of dollars, get married, 2 years later, she take everything. The house, the kids, the cars, and he got to pay her for the next 18 years. See what I mean? So you can high five over these stats all you want. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. But talk to these boss chicks about the amount of student loan debt they have. Talk to me about it. Even if you're a doctor, you get your doctorate or whatever, those cats are paying back their student loans for years, man. I know this for a fact. I literally know a plastic surgeon. I literally know what he makes a year. But you know what? You know what was true? He told me the first 7 years in his practice, he said, I was in debt up to my eyeballs. Credit cards. He did rhinoplasty. He had to sleep on his cousin's couch for like 2 years. He's all right now, but it took him about 7 to 8 years to get the student loans under control. Credit card, his credit, listen, what do you do? I'm a plastic surgeon. Oh, what do you do? Rhinoplasty. That's nose jobs, y'all. You're thinking he's rich? Yeah, he had nice suits and everything. He had to look the part. But he was sleeping on his cousin's couch in the South Bronx. Think about it. Exactly, Kane. The doctors aren't building the hospitals and building the buildings. Listen, there's a lot of female police officers, but majority of them are men. Sanitation workers, a majority of them are men. Firemen, a majority of them are men. These women are not taking these jobs, man. There's dudes I work with on transit right now, they barely have college. Making $170,000 a year just driving a bus up and down the block. Why go to college when you can do that? So now I'm reading a whole article. Lonely, broke, makes you dangerous? What's more dangerous? These men that are working smarter, not harder? Or this language calling them dangerous and I ain't done with the article yet. I want to know how much emphasis she puts on where these dangerous men come from. They came out, they want us to celebrate the woman, right? They came out of a woman. What has that woman done in raising? Is she not responsible for this broke and lonely and dangerous man? And salute to you, Focus Bowl. That's what's up. It's crazy. So marriage is down. I know black men are living above average. They're childless, but I'm reading this crap. And they're not exclusive to a race, but I'm just reading this like, wow. Watch this, y'all. College is becoming the domain of women and not men, said Galloway. A female takeover of higher education may sound like a win for women everywhere, but the dearth of college-educated men is contributing to what Galloway calls a mating crisis. Wow. A mating crisis. Reports of golden penis syndrome on female-dominated college campuses have already pointed out that students in a male minority are in high sexual demand. Let me read that again. Reports of a golden... Let me click on that for a second. Unbelievable. It's really something called, okay, it's not letting me read the article. But I'm going to Google that, y'all. Reports of a golden penis syndrome on female-dominated college campuses have already pointed out that students in the male minority are in high sexual demand, reaping and arguably exploiting the benefits of the growing college gender gap, while their abundance of female classmates struggle to find matches among the much smaller dating pool of eligible men. All right. This article's getting on my damn nerves. What does this sound like? Are y'all listening to this? Are y'all listening to this? What does this sound like? I just said, I watched one of these black chicks, these Hollywood black chicks. She was talking about men don't court women anymore. And I said, men don't court women because, you know, these dudes is trying to holler at girls and they're saying, before we go out, you got to send me a cash app. And I don't do Starbucks. And I only do 5-star restaurants. And y'all in the same dating pool as the men. Or less. This man is doing something for himself. He don't have a criminal record, don't have kids. He's doing the right thing. He wants to take you out and show you a good time, but you want the wife treatment and you don't even know this man yet. And you're demanding money up front like a prostitute. That's what prostitutes do. But why am I bringing that up? These women have such high expectations that some of these college dudes like, yo, she wants to be driven around in a $100,000 car, and she wants to date a doctor, and I'm just sitting here, I'm eating ramen noodles like everybody else. And you told them, you let those women tell it. They're saying, I have these standards. I shouldn't lower my standards. Bitch, you a college student like him. So dating him is lowering your standards? Please don't tell me about what's going on a college campus. And they gave that a name. I just learned that just now. Golden penis syndrome? Ladies, this is what men are dealing with. They're literally blaming us for the world that they manipulated. Marriage is not a good idea. To us, it's not a good deal. College chicks having these high standards. Watch this, y'all. When I was in junior high school, you were lucky if a girl thought you was cute and y'all had, little girlfriend, boyfriend thing and y'all playing kissy face. You were lucky. I wasn't that lucky. I wasn't. I didn't come into my looks until like high school, mid-high school or so. But junior high school, I noticed the chicks, they were Village Brothers. Shauna, salute. I noticed the chicks. You got a boyfriend? Yeah. Where is he? Is he in the school? No. He in high school. They were just capping. That term capping wasn't around back then. They were lying. Oh, your boyfriend in high school? And when you're young, you don't think about it. But when you get to high school, you're like, ew. You're in 9th or 10th grade, you dating a 6th grader? Huh? And then when you trying to court chicks in the school, oh, I don't deal with cats here. What, in this school? Nah, like, just guys your age. You got a boyfriend though? Yeah. He go to college. And then when you get to college, you're like, ew. You're 17, 18 years old, you're in college, you dating a 10th grader? Ew. Then you realize they were full of shit. They may have tried to date kids older, but it ain't worked out. And if it did work out, what was happening? They were just getting smashed and passed around. But what I'm saying is, her contemporaries in her school, her classmates, myself, my boy, we got lucky every now and again, but it was luck. They thought that they were better than us. Now, with that mentality, today, social media, everybody's been enabled. These laws, they encourage men, they encourage women, and they reward women for killing their household. And when she's stuck raising the kids, with a lot of them are boys, you're raising a funky, feminine F word. And you're sending him out in the world. And he don't know how to be a man. And you train him to hate his dad. 50 Cent's son is a perfect example. That dude is very feminine. I'm not saying he's gay, but he's very feminine. You can tell he's raised by a woman. And like I said last week, I said, okay, 50 Cent is about as high value of a man as it gets. He's removed penis from the table. He said, I'm celibate. So now as a woman, what could you do to get him to court you? What do you add? He's not worried about your D cups, your snatch waist, your 48-inch wide hips and booty, your weave. He ain't worried about none of that because he done been there, done that already. He's been there, done that already. The result was him making a child out of wedlock. He learned from that mistake. Now that kid's an adult, he ain't got to deal with it no more. So when he removes his penis from off the table, how do you add to his team? You know what the reality is? Most women will say, I really don't have anything. I got nothing. So when your kitty cat is no longer an option, when it's no longer a prize, you're left with the same question. What do you bring to the table? You obviously want 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson. So how do you get it if he's not smashing? What do you bring to the table? So it's okay for a man of a certain value to ask that, but you don't. Now you want to answer the question? I mean, come on, man. Stop. Shut up, Shauna. Yeah, man, he's sassy as hell. Yeah, yo, so you know what I'm talking about. Black Martial Arts Society, you know what I'm talking about. Junior high school, they had one in high school. High school, they had one in college. And I'm like, every time I reached that point, I said, yo, that's disgusting. They were lying. Okay. And that's it, Shauna. You know what the reality is? Most women are boring. Compatibility, I hear everything you're saying, but most women are boring. You think all these chicks that are on the gram twerking, they can't bring anything to the table that 50 hasn't dealt with before. And now he removed his cock from the table. He says, I'm not smashing, by the way, but how can you help me? Because I have a whole empire that I legitimately got it out the mud. And I'm not losing it for nothing. So if I want to let you in, how do you help this? And the reality is, outside of twerking on social media, looking sexy and taking selfies, if you find that sort of thing sexy, it's been done. Every chick got a snatch wake and an overgrown butt. It's been done. It's ridiculous now. Outside of those two things, what do you bring to the table? So he can say that. An average person like myself can't say that. because women fall off the hinges. But if 50 Cent sits there and asks those same women, what do you bring to the table? G-Unit. Forget the twerking. Been there, done that. Forget the punani. Been there, done that. What do you do? How do you help him grow? Where does that education come in at now? What are you gonna do? College woman? Oh, I have a doctorate. So I don't. I'm actually was a street hustler and I got shot in the face. Now I'm a multi-gazillionaire. And I know not everybody's 50 Cent. Not everybody could dunk a basketball. But like I said, let's keep it simple. What about the brother that said, man, I could go to college and $100,000 in debt, or I can get this trade and be an electrician, and in my first 2 years, I can make 6 figures. I can become a plumber. Forget doctor. I could go to school and become a nurse. I could do those things. Why do you think a lot of men, black men in particular, are not in debt? They're living above the average means, and they're childless. They're turned off by marriage because they see the result. When they were in school, for the ones that did go to school, the girls ain't paid them any mind. So now when they're being careful with their Johnsons, they're looked at as weirdos. I see the play, and I'm reading this article, they're just blaming men for every damn thing. This is disgusting. Golden penis syndrome. Let me put this link in the description, bro. First of all, I'm gonna save this. Let me put this link in there. And I'm gonna pin this. Read that at your leisure. So now there's it's a smaller dating pool of eligible men. These men are responsible. And by the way, these same women that they're talking about that are in school, they're getting an education, but they're smashing jocks, man. The chubby dude with the bifocals, ain't nobody checking for him. Unsurprisingly, this imbalance doesn't magically correct itself after graduation. Right. Naturally, most women who have put the time, money, and energy into earning a college degree might not be particularly thrilled by the prospect of settling down with a man who hasn't done the same, prompting what Galloway calls mating inequality. In the U.S., thus, uneducated men are more likely to end up alone, single, and without stable jobs and incomes, a perfect recipe for becoming the most dangerous person in the world, lone, broken male. You know what? I want to know about this guy, what's his name? Scott Galloway. Let's Google him. Scott Galloway, NYU. Is this him? This is him. I'm gonna point something out. Let me show y'all something. This is disgusting. This guy's pandering, y'all. Y'all see this? He lives in my city. All right. What does it say right here? What does it say right here? What does it say? Can you see that? Does that not say professor in marketing? I just said he's pandering. Professor in marketing? Marketing. Marketing? I think we understand this article now. And I think I understand why these black women was on Instagram on some thread talking about it and they were high-fiving each other. Yes, yes. I'm like, wow. Somehow, they've read the work of this guy. and now they're running with it. One more slogan that they're throwing: golden penis syndrome and lonely, broke, and dangerous. Okay? Leonard N. Stern School of Business. Joined Stern in 2002. Biography: Scott Galloway is a professor of marketing at NYU Stern School of Business, where he teaches brand strategy and digital marketing to second-year MBA students, and is the author of the Digital IQ Index, global ranking and prestige brands digital competence. In 2012, Professor Galloway was named one of the world's 50 best business school professors, poets, and quants. Professor Galloway is also the founder of several firms, including L2, a subscription business intelligence firm serving prestige brands; Red Envelope, an e-commerce firm, 2007, 100 million, okay, whatever. Profit and global brand strategy consultancy with 250 plus professionals. Professor Galloway was elected to the World Economic Forum Global Leaders of Tomorrow, which recognizes 100 individuals. Okay, yeah, this guy is a big brain in marketing. Marketing. Amana salute. Marketing. Mr. Salute. Marketing. And wrote an article about the growing number of uneducated, lone, broke men deemed a threat to society. Now, I done read this so far, and this is at the end of the article. Let me read this. Essentially, the theory seems to be that if men don't have jobs and girlfriends to distract them, they'll inherit evil starts to step out. Should men need jobs, relationships, and college degrees to keep their dangerous tendencies at bay? I'd like to think not, but unfortunately, it seems society has given us plenty of reason to fear the lone broke male. We've been warned. At no point, and that's the end of the article, y'all, at no point did he discuss where the lone broke male spawned from. How did he become a lone broke male? Was it by choice? Who's raising this kid? Because he's a kid. He didn't just decide, I'm going to go to college or I'm not going to go to college and I'm just sitting in my mama's basement. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. But if it does happen, you ever known, listen carefully, the lady that has the son that's in the basement with his name on the orange juice, and he's in the basement all day and he don't go out and he don't do nothing and he's an incel and all this other stuff? Notice I said lady. How often do you hear that scenario with the father upstairs? Oh, Junior's downstairs. No, because Senior's downstairs kicking Junior in his ass. Boy, if you don't get up, you eat up all the food, get your ass up. You got 12 months to get it together. Because you ain't going to live in this house and eat up the food that I paid for. Unless both parents are bums. That's a possibility. But at no point did Scott Galloway mention the upbringing, the possible upbringings. Because if these broken, lonely men are a threat to society, where are they coming from? Mr. Galloway? And I'm wondering, because I'm looking at your credentials, which is it's more than what I have, way more. But goddamn, marketing? Basically, Mr. Galloway, what are you selling? What are you selling, Mr. Galloway? I want to know. Because this article was just a shot at maybe a few dudes that he's seen along his way. And I bet you if I had him on a show, he'll speak very articulate and prove his point. What do I tell y'all about word salad in me? I cut through all of that bullshit. I will sit here and let him talk for 20 minutes and be like, Mr. Galloway, where do those kids come from? How do you become what is bad for society? How does that happen? And I'll have him work backwards. Because lazy men are a problem. But according to facts, data, and statistics, I can speak for black men. There's more productive black men than there are lazy ones that stand on the corner. Yes or no? There are more single black men who are living above average or wealthy, childless. Not all of them have college degrees. Some of them are electricians, plumbers, city civil servants. Some of them are doctors and lawyers. Some of them did go to school. So what are we talking about? All right, let's leave out the ones that didn't maximize their college education. Let's talk about the blue-collar workers, where you don't need that much education, but they're still great. Not only are they not hindering society, but they're building they're putting the tiles down in your. I bet you he lives in Manhattan somewhere in Midtown. It's expensive to live there, and he has credentials up the wazoo. But I don't think he's qualified to discuss what he wrote an article about. It's a short article. He doesn't get into the history of where these kids come from. In order to understand how you got here, you have to understand where it came from. I would love to ask him, where these kids coming from? Your thoughts? Maybe you know. Where is it? Where's the follow-up to that? What about these women? He only did this 2 years ago. What about these women in college with high expectations? They're not on campus looking for these dudes. Because you know what? I also have a video where there was women getting engaged in college. White women, of course. It was all white women because they do go to college to look for husbands. Black women go to college to prove that they don't need one. Evidence, I was just on that thread on Instagram and they were high-fiving and lonely, broke, and dangerous. Girl, I don't need it. I own 2 companies. All of that kind of, and I'm just reading that. I'm just like, look at this. Look at this. Look, I don't need no man. 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 And you go to a majority of their pages, they got their butt out. They got their face made up. They got rakes on their eye. They got rakes for eyelashes. Some of them got BBLs. If you scroll down far enough, you see them in there with a kid. My heart, my soul. Huh? Wait a minute. A man, Mark, what up? A man helped you with that. Where's he? Oh, you don't need him. Or do you? Is that dude on child support? Why, if I'm being a pervert looking at you twerk, why I gotta get thrown off by seeing you in the next slide with your kid? And it's a little boy. So when he grows up, you know, poison him about his father, probably. Now he's salty about his dad, but he's been around you 24 hours a day, so he's feminine. And now he goes to school, and he don't watch mama walk around in boy shorts all day. It's hard for him to get an erection. He thinks there's something wrong with him. No, he's grown up around it. So now the girls on campus calling him, you know, y'all know.
¡Ay, Miguel! ¡Miguel!
And he think there's something wrong with him. Like, nah, well, why don't I get aroused around these chicks? And I don't like boys. Yeah. You literally been growing up holding the camera for your mother's twerking videos. And you don't realize, you know what happened to me when I was working at the strip clubs? You know what happened to me? You know what happened to me? I got desensitized to just watching chicks walk around just ass naked. And this was before the BBL era, y'all. There was a lot of natural D cups, flat stomachs, and wide hips. For the first couple of weeks, you're like, damn. Worked there for a summer. You're like, I had to walk away from that. My girlfriend at the time was like, you all right? Are you smashing those chicks in there? I'm like, nah, I'm just like bored with it. I had to like walk away from it for a while. I had to turn it off. I was in my mid-20s. So imagine a little boy, exactly being biker, thinking that mama twerking for her camera is natural. Or you're messed up, you're growing up, you say, I don't like chicks my age. I like chicks with a little gray in their hair. And he's 16. Huh? I mean, this is a nightmare, y'all. So this educated man from NYU, and people put a lot of stock in what he says, writes this article pretty much trashing men, calling lonely, broke men dangerous to society. And then when I do the research on him, what is he a pro at? Marketing. So when he put that out, I'm just curious, what was he selling? You understand what I'm saying? Pay attention to who you listen to, man. What is this? Man, I found the sidebar. I found the new health store, and they got this giant juice. And I asked for a large green apple juice, and they said, you want it cold? I said yes. Right. And they went to the refrigerator and got some green apples. And I had a large. Let me tell you something, man. I'm going back tomorrow. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. So surprise, Mr. Scott Galloway just tore down men. He just tore them down. Just tore them down. And now he got a group of women on social media talking about lonely broke is dangerous. I don't date no lonely broke man. And when I went to a lot of their profiles, the ones that weren't private, I saw the same old stuff. Twerking, half dressed. And I said, I know if I scroll down far enough, I'm gonna see, oh, there it is. Happy birthday to my heart, my love. And I'm like, okay, where's his father? And then you're looking at the little boy, and guess what he's doing? He's posing like his mom, and he's like 5. You know how women pose like, yep, that's what he's doing. But you remember the video I shared, the short? The thick, light-skinned, red bone with the fitted dress, and she's in the mirror, and her daughter is imitating the mother, and she hugs her, and I read all the comments. Oh, showing your daughter how to love herself. No, because I went to her damn page, and what she's doing, just walking up the block, the camera's on her buns, on her snatched waist. And by the way, the fitted dress she had in that video, guess what? It was like a bikini on it. Matter of fact, I'll do you one better. I'll just show you. Let me see, content, shorts. I was quite disgusted. Here it is. Here it is. You remember this? Remember this? The fitted dress has the picture of a bikini on it. Now I feel sorry for that baby girl. Look at this. You remember this? Yeah, she thick. She beautiful. But if you go to her gram, she ain't wearing nothing loose. What do you do for a living? Oh, I model. Model for who? Model for what? One of these big corporations? You seeing 6 figures? Not built like that. Although it's gorgeous, but not built like that. You ain't no stick figure. You model for who? Or you're a gram model. Got it. Now look at that baby girl. Listen, nobody follows you on the gram to see your baby girl. And if they do, you got a problem. And he got a problem. Or she got a problem. There's a lot of that weirdness going out. Now, watch this, y'all. This is what she's teaching her daughter. Right? Homie right here is a coach. Look like for high school. And look at his son imitate his dad. father was coaching a basketball team, and the son was imitating what he saw his father doing. The mother, in that fitted dress, was showing her daughter to do what exactly? 5 years from now, which child will be more productive based off of what they've learned from their parents? Let me know. Squeegee Kid in that super chat, he said, just dropping in while I have to put in after hours of work, man. Salute to you, man. Salute to you, good brother. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, good brother. Thank you. Exactly, Squeegee Kid. That's exactly what this woman is doing. She's grooming her child. And who's going to be better off? That young man or this little girl? So when I read this article from Scott Galloway, right? When I read this article, I'm offended. I'm offended. Because he just pointed out something and gave out a half-truth. There's nothing more dangerous than an uneducated man that's not motivated to do anything. But I'm going to tell you something else. Those uneducated men that aren't trying to do anything in life, doesn't it seem like they're the ones that getting all the tail?
Whoa! What?
Those are the ones getting all the tail. But I guess he's talking about the dudes in school. You see, whether it's school or real life, these women still make these decisions. There's women that are not in school still making bad decisions. There's women that are in school. Don't talk about how, oh, they're in school in drones and there's no eligible men. Don't do that. The men you are talking about, you need to be asking where they come from. And you'll be amazed what you find, or you won't be. He's a smart guy. He knows the same statistics that we talk about every day. He knows. But I want to know what the hell he was selling. Because I was one big half-truth. Watch this, y'all. Imagine you walk into the arena and you don't know anything about boxing. And all you saw was Anthony Joshua on the floor and Daniel Dubois standing over him. And you're like, oh, that guy beat that guy. Then you get online and say, man, that guy beat that guy. And now you got people that are hungry for more information. They say, okay, yeah. But do you know something that we don't know? What? No, that guy beat that guy. He beat that guy. The guy on the floor lost to that guy standing there. It's like, well, what happened? I don't know. But that guy beat that guy. You get my point? So he's talking about a group of people that do exist. I think he's overdoing it, talking about how they're pretty much going to be the end of, they're bad for society. All uneducated people are bad for society. What's worse is the people that choose to deal with them. I knew a bunch of uneducated people that magically was making babies. And the educated women chose these uneducated dudes that weren't worth anything. What makes you think that what's happening in the street ain't happening in school? And it's not because there's a lack of good men around. It's the choices these women are making. And don't say that there's a lack of choice in men. Their standards are way too high. That's why I said when I was in junior high school, they had a boyfriend in high school. When I was in high school, they had a boyfriend in college. When I got to college, I said, there's no way some dude was dealing with a chick in high school seriously. There ain't no way. But in her delusional mind, she thought that she was the only one. Especially if that brother went away, especially if he was on some sort of team. Oh, no. No. He just saw you over the summer, man. When he was in school, it was one big freak off. You know those women that are in school in droves more than men? Yeah, that part. How about women outnumber men at least 8-1? I forget the exact number, but last time it was 8-1. So there's more women than men. And yes, they do go get their education, but I don't mean the majority of men are uneducated. Look, this article, save it, read it for yourself. It's very disrespectful, but then where did it come from? Scott Galloway, who's an expert at what? Marketing. So who was he talking to? He wasn't talking to the men. He didn't drop any options of what men should do. He was pointing out a problem, gave a half truth, and got women high-fiving on social media for a new slogan, lonely, broken, dangerous. And by the way, women are lonely, broken, dangerous. Marriage is down because why? We ain't marrying them. We ain't procreating with them. We're scared of divorce. We don't want to be we don't want to make them single mothers. Walt man, salute. All of this stuff. But tell Scott Galloway to dial it back. Where these men coming from? And then tell them to look up the single women. Look up this thing that I just saw, single by choice. Something else I want to talk about this week. Single by choice. What are you raising? What are you raising? You raising these dangerous ass men. Scott Galloway, please do the rest of the research, man. You're smart. Just taking shots at men just to take shots at men. As if we don't have feelings. He knows this. He's a man. Or is he? He lives in Manhattan. Listen, I ain't want to go there, but you know, this era. Yeah, you already know what it is, man.
¡Ay, Miguel! ¡Miguel!
Could be. I don't know. Could be. But salute to everybody in the Venmo, the Zelda Cash App, Super Chat. I'm going to get out of here. I might talk boxing in the morning tomorrow. I might not. I don't know. But y'all stay aware. I'm not going to say woke anymore because that term was hijacked. Stay aware and be cautious. Take it gently, man. Love y'all.